Like, if you're selling coke, you're morally, let's just say,
you want people to have a good time.
you're like the I cannot believe it's not butter morality, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, you kind of have it a little bit.
A little bit.
That doesn't make any sense.
I think when you're...
Everyone's in the comments is like, you're so fat, you always think about butter.
There are many topics and concepts we are all familiar with, but aren't exactly sure how they work. Each week, Alan Fitzgerald and I choose a topic and try our best to explain it. This is Explaining Things.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Explaining Things. As always, I'm your host, Jonathan Tilson, with my co-host, Alan Fitzgerald. How would you become a drug kingpin? Not just some low-level dealer. I want you to be top dog.
So,
Tony Montana.
what are you trying to tell me?
Shit's not working out for you.
No, it's not.
I think drug dealer could be the way to go.
I'm going to be the glue kingpin of New York City.
The blue kingpin's hurting.
I made $35 and it's all stuck together.
Are you a businessman? Do you like drugs? How do you get into this?
You can take a community college class on business, right?
You think that's a good way?
You got to know how business works.
Supply and demand.
Get yourself a crazy guy, too.
You want a crazy guy.
Your right-hand man.
Henchman.
Maybe a friend that was been to jail a couple of times. Life's never been fair to him. Like, hey, I'll be fair to you.
Nothing to lose, kind of.
Yeah.
He knows some people.
And he can just do the dirty work without having to tell you anything. So when police ask you, you're like, oh, I have no idea. No, I don't know the whereabouts of Crazy Joe that night. I don't bother him like that.
I work at Red Robin.
So you're telling me the biggest kingpin in all New York City is a waiter at the Red Robin Burger Restaurant?
Whoa, I'm a busboy.
That's funny. A busboy who drives a $750,000 Rolls Royce. That's
with spinner rims. But you know what? If you're going to be a fucking kingpin, you can't have any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
You can't be wearing the fur jackets. You have to be behind the scenes. The guy that Denzel played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank Lucas.
Life magazine. He was on the cover. You don't want to be on the cover of Life magazine.
No, especially if you're dealing heroin that you snuck in from Vietnam.
You're starting low, and you have to prove to people that you're fucking legit.
Okay, Alan. You can sell glue. I'll give it to you.
But can you sell swag?
What's swag? Doesn't matter.
It's an opportunity is what it is.
Yeah. Coke is the moneymaker, right?
Isn't a drug empire built on coke?
Yeah.
Like, I know Molly's popular and, like, weed and all that shit, but, like, coke is so transportable.
Yeah.
And so expensive.
Yeah. Coke's the way to go.
With coke, when you're a drug dealer, you can be like, I'm only hurting people who have enough money for coke.
I mean, for God's sakes, if you can afford a coke habit, you can afford to go to Malibu to a fancy rehab.
Absolutely. People aren't just doing coke and dive bars.
I mean, they are.
They are.
they
are.
Yeah, they very much so are.
But like Pablo Escobar, he was the richest man alive, unofficially.
I mean,
I'm for Law and Order, but that's pretty cool.
It's pretty badass. Suck it, Andrew Tate.
You're going to have to be okay with killing people.
Yes.
If you want to be a kingpin, there's no noble guy who's just like, all right, I know.
And also killing them, too, in weird ways that are going to stick out. I can't fuck with Alan. He'll put cement in our anuses.
No one fucks with El Ginger.
El Gingerino.
It's not like there's a court system, an underground court system. You have to show people there are penalties.
Yeah.
If a henchman fucks you over, if another dealer steals from you, that guy has to die, unfortunately.
And again, if you go cartel rules, they never just like, oh, he slipped down the stairs. They don't make it look like an accident.
No.
They are...
They cut off your head, hands, and feet.
Oh, yeah. Chop off your dick and balls and shove it in your mouth.
No matter how ambitious you are, if you're unwilling to go there, there's a cap on your success. And they're like, okay, this guy, he's a valuable cog in the machine, but he's not ready for the fucking, I'm going to do anything.
But here's the thing, you have to look like that guy at first so you'll get trusted by the big dog. And then, of course, you feed that guy to sharks or something. I don't know.
That's when you know you've made it to kingpin status, when you have a tank of sharks.
Feeding me to my own sharks? God damn you, El Gingerino.
You have to have a relationship with the police.
Yes.
You might want some off-duty cops and ex-cops in your fucking empire.
You've seen movies. Ex-cops just called, like, hey, I want some info on this guy. And they're like, what do you want about this? You've been retired 10 years. He goes, I don't know. Could you just do it? And they're like, yeah, sure, of course.
We went to the academy together. Of course,
nothing shady about this.
Do you have to get out of the U.S. to be true kingpin? Do you have to get to Mexico? Do you have to get to Colombia? Do you have to get somewhere that's a little easier to corrupt the government?
It helps.
Because that's also where the coke is coming from.
Well, here's the thing. The kingpins literally have more money than the Mexican government.
But that's also where your product comes from, which is huge.
So you got to learn how to speak Espanol.
That's really important. A business class and learn how to speak Spanish. But can you be the white guy in South America and have the loyalty that one of their own would get?
Hey, what does gringo mean? What? It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think he said dead before it. Your second in command has to be fucking trustworthy because someone underneath you will try to kill you to get the throne.
But he's also a complete psychopath who will throw a child at a ceiling fan.
Eventually, you're going to have to get another business, too, I feel like.
Yeah.
At least at some point, you're going to have to funnel.
So you own a ski shop in Brazil? How much do you make selling skis? Oh, about $900 billion a year. Yeah. Also, every now and then, you got to give poor people turkeys.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Make the locals really love you.
Do you need pictures of the mayor being gay? So look at this shit.
Blackmail.
I mean, he can be a white male, too. That's not important.
This is what you'd really like, to have blackmail on a guy who's going into office so that you can help with policy.
Mr. Fat Gingerino, is that what you want me to call you? No, he's a fine man. He has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that we've made cocaine and AK-47s
Completely legal. Sure, he owns the AK-47 factory and the cocaine distillery.
And sure, all of his enemies have been shot in the face.
And I went to high school with him, and we're good friends. And I was one of his
Went to the
henchmen.
same frat. He got me that car I like.
And he's married to my sister. Once you reach top Kingpin status, all right, if you ever get there, at this point, you're no longer living meagerly. You have a fucking mansion out in the woods. You just have 23-year-old girls naked walking throughout your mansion.
And your wife's in charge of the whores.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when you really got it good. When your wife's like, I'll take care of the whores.
She's fucking gardeners. Absolutely.
Those gardeners are dead. You have a mansion for you, and you get another mansion for your whores.
That's right.
And then you have the lower whores for the henchmen. They got a small, 2-3 bedroom.
Yep.
And you know what? Their life's so good they don't mind being called lower whores.
They don't at all.
They're like, hey, this is part of it.
Food and shelter provided.
And sex with very, very scary men.
And if you leave, we kill you. What's better than that life? Great security. You need surveillance. Guard dogs.
Guard dogs and a big golden chair. You don't call it a throne in front of people, but that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And anyone who has to come up to you and ask you something, do you have the dogs there? Church of Latter-day Saints? What do you think about that, Rex?
Uh-oh. Rex doesn't like you.
Cover him in T-bones and throw him in the backyard.
Then send pictures to the other people from that church. Well, I don't think we're going to figure it out any better than that. I think what we arrived at is start with weed, move to another country.
Start with glue.
Start with glue, move to another country, take a business class, learn Spanish, and then don't be afraid to kill.
Yeah. It helps if your dad used to beat you up and shit, too.
That doesn't hurt. You know, you've got something to prove to Dad. Don't we all?
Why do you need 2 mansions made out of gold? Because my dad only had 1.
I matter.
Okay, Jesus.
All right, guys. I think that's all we got. I'm Jonathan Tilson.
Alan Fitzgerald.
Bye, guys.